In this section of the trail, there's ruins from an old mill when this place used to be full of busy. And now it's quiet and serene and full of nature. It seems like a fair place to think a little bit more about leaving my former self, my busy self behind, and seeking out a more serene life. Have you ever noticed how yes-centric our world is? Take a moment and look at all the TV shows that revolve around saying yes to something. You don't hear much about the power of no. There isn't a say no to the dress, perhaps. Our surrounding influences place far too high of a value on always saying yes. Yes to pleasing others. Yes to not letting other people down. Yes to risking something or someone thinking less of us. Perhaps it's saying yes to avoid becoming the target of disappointment or someone's anger. I want people to like me, and I'm thinking that you want people to like you too. So, do you dwell on people pleasing when someone is angry with you? I know for myself, when I might have done something wrong, which frequently happens at home, I start cleaning, hoping that a clean house will make up for the mistakes that I've made. People pleasing. You see, I'm a hard worker and I must prove it, right? You are hard workers and you feel like you must prove it by always figuring out a way to say yes and never to say no. But busyness, friends, is not a temporary season. It's not something that happens over the short term until all the pieces have finally fallen into place and the last thing on the list is checked off. People pleasers, listen. I know that you might occasionally say no, but I also know that when you do, you rush to babble and explain your response and trying to defuse someone's anger or disappointment. I know that you flinch fearing backlash from saying no. And I also know that the other people that are watching you are waiting for your no to buckle under their stare of disappointment. But you need to learn to say no to many good things and wonderful opportunities that present themselves so that you will have space to say yes to what matters most. If we are constantly busying ourselves with things that other people want us to do, what happens when God asks us to do something and we say, "I'm sorry, God, the schedule is full"? Some people believe that working in a church is the most serene and stress-free job that there is. Well, let me tell you what. Those people are wrong. Vocational ministry is demanding. There's an assumption that you are never too busy, that you are never too swamped, or that you're never too exhausted to meet one more need or one more request that someone has. After all, you only work for an hour a week, right? Well, you know what people say about assuming, right? People expect you to agree to every request because you're a nice person. And I'm betting that this probably sounds a lot like your workplace too, not just in the church. But I think we forget this. God does not get tired. So don't try to be God. Just be yourself. There's no need for us to be doing more and more and more. God has plenty of time to do what God needs to. But we have to make the time to be available for those things to happen as we are partners. You remember Philippides from the last episode that we talked about, the marathon runner? So think of it this way. Someone comes to you with an unanticipated request and you say yes, just expecting a quick trip around the block, right? And then when you leave to go on that one simple task, along the way you get roped into a bunch more things and you end up running a marathon at full sprint, taking up a whole day instead of just a couple minutes that you anticipated and planned for. And in the meantime, a list of things piled up that perhaps you were supposed to have done while you're on this wild goose chase. I understand that there are tremendous pressures to perform and to please people without disappointment. But I also know if you always give in to those pressures, that you'll be robbed of your joy, that you will be robbed of your effectiveness, and that you will be damaged in terms of mental health, physical health, emotional health, and most importantly, spiritual health. And so, in our next time together, I'm going to take a moment to look at some of the pressures that fuel your busyness. And I hope to see you then. This has been your daily dose of encouragement from Wesley's Place.